Hello friends, welcome back to What's the Story? Today, we're diving into the wild world of rock and roll groupies, specifically focusing on one of the most well-known, Lorie Maddox, often dubbed the baby groupie. Her story is a fascinating and at times controversial look at the music scene of the 1970s. It's important to note that Mattix claims she was underage at the time of some of these relationships. Who is Lorie Maddox? Lorie Maddox, aka Lorie Lightning, was born on November 11, 1958 in Los Angeles, California. At the age of 13, Mattix began frequenting clubs on the Sunset Strip in West Hollywood with her friend Sable Starr, particularly the Rainbow Bar and Grill, the Whiskey A Go Go, and Rodney Bingenheimer's English Disco. This was a time when the lines between fan and participant were often blurred, and the allure of the rock and roll lifestyle was incredibly strong. The freedom and excitement of the era, combined with the access to famous musicians, proved irresistible to Mattix, and her relationships with musicians are what truly defined her time in the spotlight. Number 1. David Bowie. The connection between British musician David Bowie and Lorie Maddox involves a series of controversial encounters during Bowie's Ziggy Stardust tour in 1972. Lorie Maddox, who was 14 at the time, claims she met Bowie and engaged in a carnal encounter with him, including losing her virginity after being introduced by a bodyguard. She claims to have continued seeing Bowie many times in the following decade. At the start of their relationship, Maddox was 14 years old and Bowie was 25. Number 2. Jimmy Page. Led Zeppelin guitarist Jimmy Page was in a confirmed relationship with Lorie Maddox from 1972 to 1976. When Page was forced to return to England, Mattix says he called her every day. The couple were photographed together on several occasions, showcasing Page's affection for young girls. Mattix claims she ended the relationship after finding Page in bed with B.B. Buell. At the start of the relationship, Mattix was 14 years old and Page was 28. Number 3. John Bonham. John Bonham, drummer of Led Zeppelin, and Lorie Maddox's relationship is not extensively documented. However, it has been alleged that Bonham had a romantic encounter with Mattix at Rodney Bingenheimer's English Disco in 1972. Mattix was 14 years old and Bonham was 24 at the time of their encounter. Number 4. Peter Grant. Although unconfirmed, Peter Grant, the manager of Led Zeppelin, is rumored to have had a romantic encounter with Lorie Maddox in a limo in 1972. At the time of the encounter, Maddox would have been 14 years old and Grant would be 37. Number 5. Mick Jagger. The Rolling Stones frontman Mick Jagger is reported to have had romantic encounters with Lorie Maddox in 1972 when the band recorded portions of the album Exile on Main Street at Sunset Sound Studios in Los Angeles, California. At the time of their encounter, Mattix was 14 years old and Jagger was 29. Number 6. Angela Bowie. In 1973, Lorie Maddox was also romantically involved with Angela Bowie, David Bowie's then-wife, which shows the complex social dynamics of the time. Maddox was 15 years old and Mrs. Bowie was 22 at the time of their threesome. Number 7. Dave Hill. Slade guitarist Dave Hill had a reported encounter with Lorie Maddox in June of 1973. The couple were photographed together in Los Angeles, posing alongside Sable Starr, another well-known figure in the groupie scene at the time. Maddox was 15 years old and Hill was 25 at the time. Number 8. Keith Emerson. Keith Emerson had a romantic encounter with Lorie Maddox in 1974. Keith Emerson was the British pianist who put the E in Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Maddox was 16 years old and Emerson was 29 at the time of their meeting. Number 9. Carl Palmer. Drummer Carl Palmer also had a romantic encounter with Lorie Maddox in 1974, connecting her with two-thirds of the band, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Maddox was 16 years old and Palmer was 24 at the time of their encounter. Number 10. Gary Glitter. British superstar and serial pedophile, Gary Glitter had a rumored romantic encounter with Lorie Maddox at the Beverly Hills Hotel in Los Angeles on April 25, 1974. At the time of their encounter, Mattix was 16 years old and Glitter was 30. Number 11. Cal Worthington. Famed California car salesman, Cal Worthington met Lorie Maddox at a press junket for English singer Gary Glitter at the Beverly Hills Hotel in Los Angeles on April 25, 1974. The true nature of their entanglement is rumored, but unconfirmed. Maddox was 16 years old and Worthington was 53. Number 12. Keith Moon. Keith Moon was in a passionate relationship with Lorie Maddox from 1974 through 1977. The pair were first photographed together at Moon's 28th birthday party with girlfriend Annette Walterlax on August 23, 1974 at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel in California. Maddox was 16 years old and Moon was 28 at the start of their relationship. Number 13. Rick Wakeman. It is rumored that Yes keyboardist Rick Wakeman had a romantic encounter with Lorie Maddox in 1975 when the pair were photographed together. Maddox was 17 years old and Wakeman was 26 at the time of their meeting. Number 14. Sylvan Sylvan. New York Dolls guitarist Sylvan Sylvan had romantic encounters with Lorie Maddox from 1975 through 1978. They were photographed together at the Whiskey A Go Go nightclub in West Hollywood, California. Maddox was 17 years old and Sylvan was 25 at the time. Number 15. Mick Ralphs. Founding member of Mott the Hoople and Bad Company, Mick Ralphs and Lorie Maddox dated from March of 1977 through June of 1978. Maddox was 18 years old and Ralphs was 33 at the start of their relationship. Number 16. Mickey Finn. T-Rex percussionist Mickey Finn was reportedly linked romantically to Lorie Maddox from 1977 through 1978. Maddox was 18 years old and Finn was 30 at the start of their rumored relationship. Number 17. Iggy Pop. Iggy Pop had romantic encounters with Lorie Maddox in 1978. The couple were heavily involved for a short period. Iggy Pop's 1996 song Look Away was partly inspired by their relationship. However, some sources suggest the song is more specifically about Maddox's friend Sable Starr, another baby groupie connected to Iggy Pop. At the time of their relationship, Maddox was 19 years old and Pop was 31. Number 18. Jimmy Bain. Jimmy Bain, the bassist for Dio and Rainbow, reportedly had romantic encounters with Lorie Maddox in 1978. Maddox was 19 years old and Bain was 31 at the time of their tryst. Number 19. Jeff Beck. Guitarist Jeff Beck had romantic encounters with Lorie Maddox in 1979. His relationship with Maddox was not as widely publicized or documented. At the start of their fling, Maddox was 20 years old and Beck was 34. Number 20. Ronnie Wood. Rolling Stones guitarist Ronnie Wood had romantic encounters with Lorie Maddox from 1979 through 1982. Little is known about their relationship. However, Maddox was 20 years old and Wood was 32 at the start of their affair. Number 21. Raymond Ermer. On July 10, 2021, after a 17-year relationship, Lorie Maddox married Raymond Ermer, the Senior Design Director of Interior Architecture at Withy Malcolm Architects. They live quietly in Los Angeles. Life after the groupie era and psychological effects. The lifestyle of a groupie, while glamorous on the surface, often came with significant challenges. The constant travel, the fleeting nature of relationships, and the pressures of the spotlight could take a toll. The psychological effects of being a groupie are complex. Many groupies struggled with issues of self-esteem, identity, and the search for genuine connection. The transient nature of their relationships often left them feeling used or unfulfilled. The lack of privacy and the constant scrutiny of the media also contributed to the psychological strain. After her time in the spotlight, Lorie Maddox, like many others, had to navigate life after the music scene. The transition wasn't always easy, and the experiences of her youth undoubtedly shaped her later life. During an interview with The Guardian in 2015, when asked whether she had changed her opinion on her groupie years, Maddox admitted that she had not seen her relationships as exploitative at the time, but that the Me Too movement had forced her to view these years in a different light. I don't think underage girls should sleep with guys. I wouldn't want this for anybody's daughter. My perspective is changing as I get older and more cynical. Where is Lorie Maddox now? As of 2025, Lorie Maddox is 66 years young, retired, and living in Southern California. She maintains a private family life with her husband, Raymond Ermer, where they live a life outside of the music business. Conclusion. The list of famous men who have harmed women or children seems endless. Though these cases vary in significant ways, they all reflect the same underlying problems: criminally predatory behavior and entitlement in men's celebrity culture. Thank you for watching our look at the world of rock and roll history. What are your thoughts on the romantic encounters of the baby groupie Lorie Maddox? What partners did we miss? We value your feedback. Please share your comments in the section below. Please like and subscribe for more exciting music histories. And you can watch this additional informative video from What's the Story right now.